Hey YouTube, how y'all doing? This Miss Peaches up here, coming to do a Venus retrograde. My calendar said it began on March the 1st, and I have a book that I put somewhere right here. I can't remember what I said in my last video about Venus retrograde in March. What day did I say? My book got the 2nd, but my calendar got the 1st. So the 1st or the 2nd, one of those days, it's all good. Right now, Venus is in Aries. It will be backtracking into Pisces. So let's go ahead and get into the tarot cards, First of all, I want to say, let me back it up. Well, first of all, right, I'm here for the Venus retrograde reading, right? Let me take my time. This video is set up to be entertainment purposes. I love working with divination tools and many kinds. In this world, as we grow, it's all creative too within this divination world, the spiritual world, for spiritual consults and all those kind of things. This right here is just for people. Even if you're new to it, you want to try different stuff. It's for a diversity of people. I talk the way I talk because it's the way that I'm connected with the spiritual world. It's based on the way that I talk from all my living experiences and everything else. I got this reading set up, as you can see, with cards I already pulled. And I wanted to make sure I record my card pulling time, but I just wanted to shorten the whole conversation of hearing it. I'm also going to add into a gifted book when the time comes closer, which is about to be. Okay. So let's get into the card pulling. Now, this is the card that I have showed, right? This is the overall energy for Venus retrograde, okay? It's the hatchling fight. So what Venus is bringing in naturally is some more change that we always have, right? But not only in the change, it's saying within the hatchling fight, like, you have your own free will. Absorb whatever energy that you want to absorb. And matter of fact, your soul knows what you absorbing more. And your soul going to work with you hand in hand in the manifestation of it. Whether it's all about correcting you, directing you, giving you your testimony, and any other thing else to make you carry on. And that's what this hatchling fight is all about with Venus in this retrograde through Aries and Pisces. And I think that hatchling for me, being into astrology and everything, having a degree in philosophy and having all these elective courses and moving on, even though education might not count, but it does count, right? I think it's very important with it being in Aries and then going back into Pisces, of how much the increase of creativity and the spontaneousness of thoughts. And that's what the hatchling egg is about. It's like trying to tell you that you might not always have control over your thoughts as much as you can have control over your reactions, as it presumes. But whichever way that you feel that is more controllable or works hand in hand, going to really count in the way that you perceive this energy as Venus goes retrograde. Now, I got a card at the end of it. Tarot card to go with it, to bind the tarot cards. So we have love, 2 of Cups. It just have love. One thing that I like about this, right, that is 2 females whose hand is united. Now, as far as spiritual drawing and talking about Venus, it does represent feminine energy, but also it has a masculine energy, Libra, right? Libra is an air sign and it's masculine, right? So it's kind of great to see how they have computers that's back there, which could also represent air that's back there, right? Even though we see these two people that's here. Not only that, the cups is about touching close in a unique angle right there is how they meet up, okay? Now, you could take this as somebody leading the way. You could take it as they could be doing a hand dance with their hands are touching. This is the creative spot for you to decide. Because love is so describable, okay? It's a synthesis to an emotion, but underneath of it is many theories that describe love. And some of them is wanted and some of them is unwanted. Okay? So right there in the middle of the separation of it, that's where that manifestation with that hatchling egg work, right? Is how it's going to work. So, also what came out in the dice, we had Libra, as far as the zodiac energy. Okay? Right? And Libra is already part of Venus. So we're talking about something in the astro dice to be consistent. And then we have the moon. Okay? And I feel like the moon is the self-reflection. Let's talk about the self-reflection of ourselves within inside of here. And then we have the fifth house, creativity. So Venus will be using a way of self-reflection with creativity within this retrograde energy, right? So I got some great examples that I'm going to use. So here we go. The first oracle card that came out was the divine masculine, okay? And I asked for clarification of like modern time. What is this? So in our logical sense, we have a professional binge watcher. We are professional binge watchers. I think we're more of a binge watcher now than when we was on TV. Meaning that when I was growing up, I could binge watch MTV videos, BT Video Hour, and then it changes over. So that time is up. So when I was coming up, the binge watching was more control. Now that we have so many apps that appears to not relate to a TV channel, but as a app, and we must be technical fine to understand the difference between the old guys and technical guys, right? We have a thing of how do we talk in this digital platform. So apps is the appropriate word. If I don't say apps, then you're going to be confused, right? If I say BET, even though it's on cable, it's on YouTube. So, but I need to say BET also have an app. So which way are you going to be looking for it? Anywho, I ain't going to strive that much. But my point is professional binge watching is more of a modern day life thing. All the way to people troll other people's pages based on your friendship, everything. So what we're going to do as another form of divination, I just got this book, right? It's real cute. So what I'm going to do is sit here and open this book up. And when I open this book up, I'm going to also take myself off of view. And I'm going to go down to the cards again. And we're going to get into it a little bit more. And hopefully I don't eat up too much time. But I'm just saying books like this is very helpful in divination, translating tarot cards from different multiple levels. So I'm into that fifth house Leo creativity already. You know, just when I started pulling the cards, I said, you know what? That book would be very great. So the energy is moving, it's self-reflective, because what made it more self-reflective inside of me is the fact that, one, my Mercury is in Libra and it's retrograde, right? I'm talking about a retrograde information, and I just recently brought this book, so it's not that far behind, but it's still consistent of the past. So many people do many things with divination tools. So that's going to be one of mine I want to incorporate in here with our story. Okay? So let's lower the camera and let's get into a little bit of fun and try not to make the video too long while we do it. Okay? Hey, so here we go, y'all. We got the camera all nice and tilted down. So Spirit, guide me to a name that would go great for me to interpret the tarot cards that has came out for the power of the divine masculine and professional binge watcher. Right here is where I went. Okay. So here we go. We have Boan. Boan is the spirit of Arlen-born river. Arlen's, A-R-E-L-A-N-D, if you can't understand me. Born river, right? Responsible for its creation. Her myth is documented in the 12th century history of places. Boan, whose name is interpreted as white cow, is married to Nectane, an owner and guardian of a well of wisdom, which he forbids her to visit. She defies him and walks around in counterclockwise. The water in the well reacts explosively, churning and surging upward, turning into a raging river and racing to the sea. Engulfed by the waters, Boan loses an arm and an eye and a leg, and finally her life. She is transformed into the spirit of the river. It is a mystery myth. Is the whale reaction her punishment for breaking a taboo? Was she forbidden to visit the whale because Neptune knew what would happen if she did? Is this story a later rationale for why Boan is the spirit of the river that bears her name? The story of defiant, disobedient wife who is drowned and is preferably to acknowledge as a premortal pagan river goddess. Her animal is cow. Her sacred site is the Boan River. Her son name is Ingest, Lord of Love, has his palace on her banks. So there goes a story, right? That's where I stopped at. Now that's great for a divine masculine energy, and we're talking about professional binge watching too, right? For me, I think so. Because in this story, what a professional binge watcher is, she been watching her husband the whole time, going back and forth to this well. Now, no matter what way they describe the story, we could sit here and draw some conclusions that she was watching it so much that questioned her husband about what was so significant with that whale. Just like they had the mysteries, did the whale react as a punishment for her? Look at this professional binge watcher. Look at that face, right? You know, do you think Boan would have been tripping like this when she saw that whale tripping? Or maybe she could have been so deep inside of herself and firm with her abilities, right, that this was what was meant to happen. Maybe she wanted to be one with it. But whatever way it is, it still represents the power of a divine masculine. So we want to look at divine masculine as a object, a human object, as a man itself. But a divine masculine is inside of all of us. It's our logical side. It's our beliefs. It's our motivation when we look at it from Mars and everything else. So choosing this divine masculine aspect of it is still a twist, because why she's a spirit and why she known as, what they call her? The white cow. Why is she known as the white cow? And her animal is a cow. How does that cow and water relates to each other? And why is she known, if she's all the way in Ireland, right? Why she's known as a pagan goddess in Ireland? Not a Druid, not a Wiccan, but a pagan goddess, right? That she has a certain place on a river. A river is literally named after her. Right? So let's get into the cards. The tarot cards to go good with it. So this is the universe. So in this story of an example right here, right? Boanne came part of the universe when she went to that well. Whatever she conjured or whatever she did, she broke herself down. Within the breaking down pieces, this is what you call the fifth house, right? We're talking about a creative process. They said she was forbidden. But she went there and she walked around it counterclockwise. So at that stage of the game, that was her creativity. So then in the moon of it, right? Well, the Libra, she was married. She was married. So there go justice, just plain and simple. And here go the moon. So moon comes in phases, right? We got the waning, the crescent. The moon relates to a woman's cycle. So let's think about the phases. So in this phase that she went through, she loses her arm first, then she loses her eye, then she loses her leg, and then finally her life. It would almost feel like she got ate up by a piranha or something, right? But they said from that, she also became, she transformed into the spirit of the river universe. Now these cards came upside down, so I didn't have no preparation. So what is this card right here? Ah, look how sweet that the spirit lined everything up. We have the Empress, okay? Because not only this, they said her son name, it's her sacred site, is her son named Angus, the Lord of Love, has a place on her banks. So round there in the river, when we're talking about her Empress energy, right? We have her son Angus, the Lord of Love. Not only that, that was even perfect to go with this card right here, right? The Lord of Love. So in the Empress of it, even though they're not talking a whole lot, but with inside of it, she still was a mother. And then, right? So Venus using this energy right here, right? Which it seemed like I'm connected with it on it as I tell this story. Are you understanding how your life could be with it in the discipline? Now, we started off with the hatchling egg and the manifestation. So she accepted her destiny out of her manifestation, out of her hatch. She hatched this. Now, she left her family. So let's get the final two cards. What is our final two cards? Look like a swords. Which one is it? The Seven of Swords and the Two of Swords. So in the Seven of Swords and the Two of Swords, it's like this. Is this a story of a later rationale for why Boan is the spirit of the river that bears her name? So, in Seven of Swords, do women actually get disrespected to the point that they need a story to be created within defiance and disobedience and trauma in order to be recognized or praised? So, for example, whatever you got going on, because I got some stuff going on with me, and it makes sense with this Venus energy, because some things is worth the fight. Some things is worth the fight. I mean, on the two of swords here, when it comes to binge watching, right? You're a professional binge watcher, right? So let's say it's all coming off of social media that you ain't taking. For me, mine coming off of here. So she was engulfed with the water, and she transformed into the spirit. So in the Two of Swords of it, what does it really take to be part of the universe? Like, is this a story of greed? Is this a true story of transformation? Now, pagans believe, like, you can do whatever you want to do as long as you don't cause no harm to nobody. So, in her own way, she didn't cause no direct harm, not one that she didn't take her own self, right? She lost her arm, she lost her eye, she lost her leg, she lost fairly her life. So, even if she was one of the spirits that's following you, if you do lose an arm first, she might have every authority to be able to do what she did because she took it first. She didn't cause no harm that she wasn't willing to, that she didn't already go through. So with things getting tight in the world, you might have a roommate that's irritating you. You might be like, get the fuck out, and you know shit all fucked up right now. You didn't got them and added one more homeless person out on the street. So before you put somebody out on the street, and everybody got their rights, how bad did the person be? I think what this is saying is a whole lot, because, like I said, there's many ways this story could actually be told. And now I left the shadow card here for this message, and what we have here, the Five of Pentacles, worry, the treachery, the karma. How deep will this karma even come back and exist? Will a karma ever come back on somebody? And the second is, with me reading this book, I know that I gotta honestly say that I don't know this person. I read about what they said was karma, so I know I'm nosy. The Two of Swords. So be careful where your thoughts are going, what is manifesting. There's many spirits around in the world. You're going to be working with a co-worker who maybe never heard of Boan at all, but could be a pagan person. And not only that, they could be somebody that loves to go to the beach or water parks, and naively, in their own way, not even knowing that this spirit lurks in a river. Because one, and they did know about them, like I just found out, you're going to think that they only overseas in a different country. And if you ain't in that country, you might not think you had anything to worry. It just said that she she is transformed into the spirit of the river. River flows all around this world. I understand what people say in the way it's supposed to flow, but at the same time, I don't know for sure what started the first real true direction of water. I know in my body, the water that we call blood goes up and comes back down. It always recycles itself. Just like salt water, fresh water, got a left and got a right. But in the middle of my body is where they meet at, right? So now let's get to the next one, right? So we got spiritual decree that came out. So what I feel on this spiritual decree, this is finding your way through a storm. And I really feel like it because it got the yoga presso that came out in reverse, but it also got the ghosting guru. So it's throwing things in front of you that maybe people who strive all the time to try to be in the now. And you come in like, when Venus get into Pisces, right, you might be coming up against these things where all of a sudden you want to read a whole bunch of history. And then all of a sudden this history just change your outlook. You might want to go out there and protest or do something from all this history you read. This is with the Pisces energy, right? And up in that Pisces energy, you thinking you're doing what's right. You feel like, I got a right to change. I got a right to do something different. But you're not even realizing that somebody already crossed your path. Especially with that Libra that came out on the dice, right? Somebody that already crossed your path already. That really was going to be somebody good for you. You were so stuck in the way that your spirit guides, your life was supposed to be, that you missed out on the opportunity. So let's get the example here that goes with this one. So I'm gonna just go this way in the book because I left it open. I don't feel like closing it. So I'm gonna just go this way. And here we go. Okay. So Mars came up. As the father of Romulus, Mars is literally considered the father of Rome. He is an ancient spirit who was venerated through the region, possibly originally by the Astrocans. His name is not of Indo-European derivation, although now most famous as the Lord of War. In his earliest incarnation, he was a spirit of agriculture, fertility, and an aggressive protective guardian of fields and boundaries. An old Roman prayer requests that Mars banish visible and invisible alignments, troubles, disasters, and inclement weathers. His association with war came to the fore when he later became intensely identified with the Greek war spirit Aries, and when Rome emerged as a military power. Martial as a synonym for warlike derives from his name, martial arts, martial plan, martial law. A society of priests dedicated to him open and closed the military calendar with martial dances. Mars is a spirit of prophecy. Spirit's house in his shrine provided an oracle via the spontaneous movement. They were understood as the voice of Mars himself. Mars presided over Rome's conquest over Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. He was the favorite deity of Roman soldiers who carried him wherever they conquered. He became very popular in Gaul, now mainly modern France. However, here, as in other Celtic regions, Mars associated with healing, fertility, and protection were emphasized, possibly because of the ambivalence towards the Roman occupation. Mars is a warrior against illness and death. Veneration of Mars may survive in veneration of Saint Martin of Tours and Saint Maurice. Mars' favorite people are farmers, soldiers, mercenaries, and those born under the zodiac signs of Aries and Scorpio, as well as those born in March. The icon graphic. In ancient days, Mars was venerated in the form of a spirit. This is recalled in the form of a hieroglyph, which now also serves as the universal symbol for the male gender. Sacred sites. Let's see. Okay, that's enough. So there we go when we're talking about the spiritual decree. Within this example right here, where the yoga pretzel was, right? People meditated on Mars really came from Rome. But then somehow or another, it got flipped upside down with the Greeks and the planets. And that's where the ghost and guru come in at. Because now at this point in time, where I'm saying that things related at, when I say somebody probably came in your life, that's just like the transition of Mars being a Roman god to a Greek god to the universal symbol. Is for people to be sectioned off and be like, oh, no, because it is people out here that would say, no, Aries, the Greek god, and that's why Aries is the zodiac sign, and Aries and Mars is a Greek god and would deny Roman. So that's what a ghost and guru is, right? So just like I said, it'd be those situations in your life where you kind of have more of an affirmation, or you definitely feel strongly in your belief in the decision that you make. And not considering it, but you judging this situation so hard that it had to be good and bad. You're not reading it for what it's worth, meaning I have no debate. I'm not Mars. Mars could have been from Greek. He could have been a Greek Aries. It all could have worked together. You know what I'm saying? He could have been part of Roman. Many people worship him. I mean, shoot, Elon Musk is all on Mars' ass right now. So that's even obvious. Like, he's obsessed with landing, living, and getting people to go there. Which is unique because this book is like, Mars came to us. So, why would you have to go somewhere when it's already here with us? All you had to do is try to petition him and reach out for him. He is venerated alongside his mother, Juno. Other festivals include 27th of February, the 14th of March, the 17th of March, the 19th of March, the 23rd of March, the 1st of October, the 15th of October, and the 19th of October. Rome's original March 1st was Rome's original New Year Day prior to the calendar reformation in his birthday. So they have many ways to channel that energy of Mars, right? So the cards that first came out for this one right here, I like these too. And then they make sense when I didn't know what they would make sense too. But here we go. We got the Knight of Swords and the Prince of Cups. Okay? We have these sexy people right here. And see what they say at the bottom? See those words? They count. Okay? They really do. And it says the game master and the film maker. And that's what it is. The game master. It's not the fact that Mars energy within somewhere in our life is not the game master. And even when it comes relevant, when it comes to Venus and all of this, is because it's looked like it's Venus' partner. So within a spiritual degree, it's common reference for across the whole world that Venus and Mars represent the gender on Earth. See, that's what you call the game master. So when Venus is up in this retrograde and Mars is coming stationary and all up into it, one thing that both of them have in common that a lot of people forget to tap into, meaning that if we're talking about this divine masculine energy being in conjunction with it, right? In conjunction. If you see one of these conjunctions or sextile, right? Taurus is a feminine energy. Libra is a masculine energy. Aries is a masculine energy. And Scorpio is a feminine energy. By elements. Water and earth is feminine elements. Fire and air are masculine elements. So that's where the filmmaker is in. Because it's like, when we talking about that fifth house creativity that Venus will have, you won't recognize the masculine energy. Like, my masculine energy comes out with my hair on my face. I'm not ashamed of it. But it's more perceived and more common to say men grow hair on their face than a woman's supposed to. But that don't mean that I'm not embracing the way that my masculine energy comes in. It's helping me to embrace and keep that bond between the divine feminine and the divine masculine within inside of me, so I could continue to grow to love myself. So when we're talking about this hatchling, right? These situations that's going to come upon in this energy, because you got to remember, Kendrick Lamar was all about they not like us. So that not like us going to be taking a whole presidential form up in here, just like Mars. And then the last two cards is the Magician and the Princess of Swords. Now I like the fact that it really has the Princess of Swords and the Prince of Swords. You can't get more common than the magic that comes in the bond of loving yourself. Regardless, even loving yourself will make you put somebody out in the cold. Because it's called boundaries. And what does Mars energy say? Mars was all about, his spirit was about agriculture, fertility, and aggression, protective guarding over fields and boundaries. So when this energy is here, you might not give Venus the credit that's due. But don't come back later, because Venus might not want that credit when you want to wake up and realize it was Venus helping you. Okay? So we got to be careful on that, especially with the fact that Mars is the selected spirit that's here in the book. A lot of this gives more credit to Rome than it do to Greek. But it also got many other names, like, it says even in this book, Mars' consort was Venus, Vitula, and Vacana. So he got three of them. You know, and got Aries, Juno. Juno is the mama. Vesta is up in here. Venus is up in here. Like, it's a lot of connections to Mars. When you're talking about having the activists and the game master together. Right? They say as women nag. They'll be the activists. That could be also your thoughts being obsessive. The shadow card here is, hey, the Eight of Pentacles. That's Mars, right? Aggressive. Aggressive energy. You know what I'm saying? Being that guardian over the field and boundaries. That'll be it. It's the spirit of prophecy. Spirit's house in his shrine provided an oracle via their spontaneous movement. They were understood as the voice of Mars himself. Listen to that. A society of priests dedicated to him opened and closed the military calendar with martial dances. And that don't change what Libra represent, martial, in all of this. Libra represent that too. My day's moving all around. So what I'm saying, when it comes to all of this, it's many spirits that walk around and many spirits that plays a role in the storytelling, in the game line. And yeah, they walk with us every single day, and we might be walking in it now and having all our situations. You know what's going on in around your environment the best way you can know how. Take the time to process what you're able to process. And I know how it feels with anxiety, unconcluded thoughts, being empathic. There's so many different distractions around here as we all continue to self-discover ourselves in this world. But regardless of it, you could take your time. Or find some way to take your time. If it's meant for you. Destiny is destiny. So I don't have no control of that. This is just for entertainment purposes to help people try to understand Venus energy and how to work through it. So these shadow cards, let me show. From the tarot deck, in our conversation here, what do we have? We have, hey, look at there, the Four of Swords. Just like I said in the overall energy. Yeah, free will is here. It's spirits that walk with us all the time. We can take that time to chill, think about it. We're going to do whatever. Our justification of what makes us feel comfortable is just inside the eye of the beholder. Who you are is just who you are. Whether you're growing into that person, understand that person, whether you're like that person 10 years from now, it's still who you are. Take the time to chill and relax. Understand that foundation part of it with this Four of Swords. Okay? That's what this Four of Swords is all about. The next one, when I pull the modern day life cards for here, we have the retail therapy guru. I guess I like that. You know what makes me like it is because I did pull out many different types of divination tools. And not only that, Venus is known as the retail, you know, the impersonator, how you going to perceive yourself, the vanity that's within inside of us. So it just let me know on the blind side of pulling all the cards, we all connected. See, it's on the blind side. The back is turned. See, you see a book bag. This is the blind side of town. Venus. It got the whole world within the retrograde to create a whole story for all of us. Alright. The Oracle card here, we have grounding. So that is all that it was all about. I talked about a grounding. And look at the feminine symbol that's here. You can't, like, that is just so beautiful. With Venus being here and coming into it. Like, the divine feminine symbol is all here. So on the blind side of taking in all of this is all about grounding. This is what the whole conversation is going to be about. We had love. Definitely a great connection. And so for the other oracle card, what we have here, the meditating fight. And that's what I did. I prepared the cards ahead of time. So I was going through the meditation fight. Prepare all of this. Not only that, it's even to help people meditate on their situation. If you're into astrology and influences, because there's many other different things you need to consider. Consider where Venus is at in your chart. I have a Scorpio Venus. So my situation is going to tweak a little bit. You know what I'm saying? What is yours? There's always alchemy that goes on and assists. So when it comes to the Four Swords and this, meditate, truly. You know, the sun going to play a role in being in Pisces and everything, and going to go into Aries during the retrograde period. So the sun energy going to talk. What is your sun sign? That's just the Venus. Be the alchemy of the love for yourself. Alchemize with everything that's coming around you. If you went to the matrix, that's your best matrix aspect. It's alchemy through astrology and your own personal natal chart. And the basic little simple things. Find your alchemy. And that's why my videos is for entertainment purposes. Because it's to entertain you and me at the same time. Good night, y'all.